footsteps on the roof. There's a twinkle in my eyes. I hear footsteps on the roof.
Why not? Welcome to Year Round Tree, the Christmas All Year cast. I am Nikki P, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lizzie.
What's up?
This is episode number 6.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be talking about... What are we talking about, Liz?
A Garfield Christmas special.
That sounds like fun. Was it fun?
1987, boy. Doesn't get much more fun than that.
It's very... your childhood, I have a feeling.
I honestly don't know anymore. Actually, having to examine it really kind of ruined some of my illusions about it.
Interesting. So I'm sitting here drinking my peppermint schnapps from a bottle in a gift bag, like a wino. So if you have
very festive wino.
Yeah, so if you get the imagery there.
Nice.
And I'm enjoying, I'm confused, since we are watching a movie from your childhood. You kind of changed it up on me here. Normally we do like the Christmas sweaters. Mm-hmm. And for some strange reason, you just chose to show up in snowflake pasties.
I mean,
our basement's not that warm.
I was going for the...
Were you hoping that like a fire would break out and like you'd be warm down here if you thought hard enough?
I was going for the New Year's party hangover thing.
Okay, and I mean...
I'm over here with my my bottle of leftover New Year's champagne, just taking it to the face, so...
Okay.
I was just swirling with the thing.
You are, in fact, taking it to the face.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I'm just going to say, especially since we're watching a movie about your childhood, does that ring bells for your childhood?
No, the two are completely unrelated.
Coincidentally, it does ring bells of my childhood, which is also its own sort of thing. A Garfield Christmas special. Let's get into this.
Special.
All right. You want to start us out here?
Sure. Well, it starts out with like kind of a little fake out dream sequence there.
What is the best part about the fake out dream sequence?
I'm not sure. It's
a gift giving machine. You sit in it, you think it, and then the gift happens.
Yeah, but when I'm thinking about it, like, is everything in this movie about gifts? Like, that's not really what Christmas is about, is it?
Yeah.
I feel like that's where
Liz,
his dream
Liz.
is going.
Are you thinking about this being like as an adult? Because no, Christmas is about gifts. If you're a kid, I get it that you were churchly, and they tried to make it about other stuff. I mean,
yeah. But we watch this every year. I guess that's what I was saying about like, okay, you're the disco ball pom poms on your sweater are kind of blinding me right now, so I'm distracted. But
okay.
But no, like
don't make me choke you with my disco ball pom poms.
We would watch this every year, and like it's super secular for something my parents would let me watch as a kid.
It didn't seem secular. I almost think I remember them talking about God in there at some point.
I think like might have snuck in there at one point, but it's not, Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. They aren't in there.
Well, you know what it probably is, Liz?
What's
they
that?
needed one movie that you kids actually wanted to watch that they could shuffle you off with.
Okay, fair enough.
To get you out of the room for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because, wrapping chestnuts is difficult.
Right. Little
if you're there. Yeah. Anyways, the gift-giving machine was probably the highlight of the show for me.
Was it? I mean, it's a cool concept. I got to admit, as a kid, I was like, that's awesome.
I frankly was a little pissed off that it wasn't real. Like, I
was
really
like
wish I was
the fake out
hoping,
part of the...
because I assumed the Garfield's going to sit down in it, and it was just going to start manufacturing tray after tray of lasagna.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be the eventual end of it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just he'd start imagining lasagnas with different kind of meats in it.
Yeah, basically, and until he just passed out from gluttony, pure gluttony.
God, that sounds amazing. Every part of that sounded amazing. So it opens up with that. And then where we head next? To the first of the Lou Rawls tracks for this. This whole thing was just jam packed with songs. Like
I know, it was interesting.
It's only 20 minutes long.
They've got Got a lot of songs in there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, quite a few. None of them are crazy long, and they just kind of
No.
hint at the song.
No,
But-
they're almost jingles, really.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty impressive. Speaking of jingles, so we actually watched this particular one on
Yes.
YouTube.
Total
And
bonus.
so, as a bonus, we watched the version of it that still had the commercials from the NBC
CBS.
or the CBS 1992 airing of this
Yes,
movie
which is
special.
just amazing because in '92 I was 7-ish.
Something like that.
So I remember some of these commercials, especially the McDonald's commercials.
Yeah, there was a lot of McDonald's commercials.
Yes.
Like literally, there was a Happy Meal commercial in every single break of this thing.
Oh man, those are like the good old days, man.
And there was even some schizophrenic, weird ones. Like, what were they trying to sell us? The dogs?
Yeah, that was creepy. I think I just must have blocked that out because that was a creepy commercial. I don't even know what they were selling. It was just puppet dogs. It was creepy.
It was, and what's funny is it was like a pretty big product. We watched this like an hour ago. I don't even remember what it was selling right now, but I remember the dogs.
So busy being appalled by
Whatever,
what the heck are these
whatever
puppet
they were
dogs?
selling, it was not as impressive to me as the strange dogs.
Yes,
Okay.
no doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, Lou Rawls. It's good.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I want to point this out when they're doing all of the snarky witticism that Garfield does. He uses the word avarice to describe
does.
Christmas, and
He
I love the
does.
word avarice.
They got it in there. I've only heard that in one other Christmas film, and it was the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol, because they're talking about greed and avarice. And that is
Well, allow me
actually
to tell you, folks, that Liz absolutely has different versions of A Christmas Carol.
oh yeah, I'm a sucker for that story. You kidding me? Read it every year.
Yes, and she said read it.
Yeah, I read the actual book. It's a heck of a lot shorter read than The Lord of the Rings, which I also read every year. So, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, spend my time on something more useful, like a podcast. I don't
Like
know.
the Silmarillion? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna swig my
Coming,
champagne and stop
coming
talking geek
soon
talk now.
to a podcast near you. Liz drunk talking about the Silmarillion.
Oh, good lord! Let me tell you something else about Turon.
I don't know what she's talking about either, folks. I'm married to her. It's all what it is. Okay. So he makes it a point when they're heading off to his mom and dad's house, right?
Yes,
And
which
be with
actually,
John's family. Oh, speaking of which, so when we were watching it, I asked Liz, so is John crazy or does Garfield actually talk?
which is a fair question.
But then it occurred to me that the cat doesn't talk. I think that we're not actually even hearing the cat. The idea of the cat is simply the human condition and us as an outsider analyzing
Okay.
this pathetic single man's life,
Okay, fair enough.
and the banality of that life. Garfield represents how we should be
I see.
reacting to this pathetic
So he's our
human being.
avatar in John's sad little world.
Yes, like that is like. Though the show is called Garfield, it's really
About how pathetic
how
John
sad
is.
is John's life.
Honestly, that is a very fair analysis of how that show works.
Yeah, it was something,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even when he's not there, I think there's still the subtext is there. Like his life is set up in such a way that we care about his animals more than we care about him.
Yeah, that he is a kind of a sad. I mean, honestly, it was hard to not catch that in this particular special
That
because
really, really drove it home.
yeah, they are such man children, him and his brother in this flipping
good.
show.
Yeah, they really set that up. Like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Go the hell back to bed. Was Santa been here, Dad?
You're 30 years old. What the hell is wrong with you?
Speaking of which, is John supposed to be 30?
I mean, he's supposed to be old enough that he could have settled down and gotten a life by now.
I mean, I always just kind of assumed he was in his 50s.
Because if you follow the comic at all, I mean, the comic lasted for quite some time, so I feel like the characters are kind of ageless, obviously, but they definitely suggest that he probably should have done some settling down by now.
Yeah. Anyways, so John's life is pathetic. Is the moral of that story?
Basically.
Let's move along to the point where, so they're talking about we have a busy day ahead of us, Garfield. He's laying out all the crap they have to do on Christmas Eve.
Yes. Which, I mean, I can kind of relate to that because
I relate
a lot
to
of
it.
stuff on Christmas Eve.
And fuck that noise. I hate that noise.
Pick up and go to grandma's and all that good stuff, which is totally worth it. God bless family Christmas, but yeah, it's a lot.
What are we doing for Christmas next year that's not going to be that?
I'll have to sort that all out, I suppose.
Yeah, we need to find some kind of location independent so we can just be in a cabin.
I don't know, Winnebago, and just take her home with us.
Just a cabin in the woods somewhere.
That works. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yep.
So we get to his house, and all of a sudden we see what in my opinion is the best character in the entire show. We meet John's grandma.
Yeah, she is a bad mamma jamma.
Fitness granny is what I have her written down here as.
Could she have any more attitudes?
No. You know what she had? She had like not grandma buns. We'll put it that way.
She is very sassy.
She was a white lady with a trunk sticking out.
What are you gonna do?
Looked like she had some thighs on her. Looked like she's gonna do some work.
Yep. There you go.
It was something.
It's an interesting character they created.
And
there.
like she hugged and squished the shit out of John, and I was like, no wonder you're single, pathetic man. So, Grandma has a moment where you see her creeping into the kitchen with a can of chili powder to spice up the country gravy that John's mom is making.
Yeah.
And I love the attitude that she has, because like the mom's like, "Oh, I see you over there trying to tamper with it," and she's like, "Bitch, I got the county's blue ribbon country gravy. Well, how many awards your country gravy got?"
So much sass.
I love it.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
no, it was pretty impressive. Which is funny because she's like super fitness lady, and clearly country gravy is not a fitness food.
Oh, good Lord, no. But there's a lot of food in this flipping movie. That is one of the big traditions of Christmas in this family, apparently.
It's a big tradition in every family. Unless you're like super poor like your family and they just didn't have money for food, Liz. I get
Is that what it was? It's not important because we can't afford it.
Yeah, no, Liz has told me year over year that they put nuts and berries inside of their stockings
Which
every
was
year.
awesome. I frankly would very happily still put whole nuts and an orange in the toe of my stocking because that is what I grew up with and I think it's awesome.
I don't think it's terrible.
It makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
I just think that if you could get rid of the nuts and oranges and put in Snickers bars and jelly beans, I'm completely on board with this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a little of both would probably not be completely remiss for our particular family tradition. But, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's literally, him, his mom.
I'm just saying, just to cap it, I want to judge a country gravy contest.
Yeah, right?
That's something I want to do.
Yeah, figure out where you sign up for that.
Wherever that job is, that's the job for me.
Yeah, but the triage required for getting you back to, fighting shape after that doesn't seem worth it.
Look, Liz, if we find that, I'm completely okay. That's the way to go out.
That's how you go out.
That's my gig for the rest of my days.
Bad. That is just crying shame right there.
You think that's a shameful life? I think that's perfect.
But no, there are literally five people at this family dinner.
He found out there was a country gravy contest he could be a judge for. His life was never the same after. It took him 2 weeks. He found where they held the country gravy contest. He died 2 weeks later, living life to the maximum.
It's like Jeff Buckley. Just yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That's how that guy goes out.
That's crazy.
Yep.
All right. So, I guess moving right along. There's a fun moment in there where they make a joke about people saying grace at dinner.
Yeah, no, that was the one thing that directly mentions God in this whole Christmas special, and he does kind of a heartfelt, tentative prayer, and then
why do you have such a thing in your butt about God and Christmas?
well, it's just To me, it's literally just the fact that we watched it so much when I was a kid, and that was such a big deal
Okay.
to my mom. Still is.
I'm
such
just
a big
curious what
deal
God has
my
to do with
mom.
Christmas.
And then this idea that we're watching a special that just talks about it in such an almost cynical way. When they do finally talk about it, he does the kind of heartfelt sort of tentative prayer, and then he's like, oh wait, let me wax poetic and like give a little mini sermon, and like he gets this like swelled head voice and like, and surely, and then they're just like,
Yeah, they're like
Wrap it up, buddy.
they're like everybody else. I want my fucking food. Shut up.
yeah.
This isn't your time to pretend you're an artist. This is your time to get out of my way so I can eat.
Yeah. So it was just funny.
This is very perfunctory. I don't know why you're doing
Very
this.
funny. But no, there's literally 5 people at this dinner, and she made like 5 types of everything. There's 5 types of potatoes. There's 5 pies. Like, way too much food for the number of people.
Just for
at this
the
dinner.
record, Liz, you've been to my family's Christmases.
I understand. Oh, I totally
Okay.
made that comparison in my head. It was really funny to me. It's like, I mean, they have turkey and ham, and there's 5 of them. Who the hell's gonna eat all of that?
Okay. Now, we're getting towards the end of things here, at least as far as my notes go.
All right.
Do you have anything you wanted to add? Because I do have one thing I thought was important.
Well, I mean, they do actually get to some heartfelt emotional.
Which is where I was headed. So,
something. or
Garfield gets Grandma, Fitness Granny, the greatest gift ever.
other. Yes.
He gets her all the old love letters her husband wrote her during the war.
Which they do actually set up in a nice little moment in the middle of the.
Do they?
thing.
I'm
talk
going to
about-
be honest.
She talks about losing grandpa.
I was fading in and out
I
through
know you
most
were.
of this.
She talks about losing grandpa and how much he loved Christmas and how important it was, just family and Christmas, and they'd never had much, but he made Christmas special.
Yeah.
And, she gets that the letters as sort of the icing on the cake there.
And I think it was icing on the cake for her.
Yeah.
Now, never to let a good joke go to waste. I'm laughing because John's mom, I was like, oh, what do they say?
Right.
And she gives her the lady never tells thing.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, thank you, Granny.
But
Thank you for
How
just
awesome.
taking that schmooze and just kind of, okay, we got you, to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But I mean, how nice is that? Thinking about, an older lady who's lost her husband, doesn't have a lot going on in her life. Like, to be able to have like a little, these are my secrets. I've
Look,
got
Liz,
business.
I'm gonna be
Things
honest.
happen to me too, sort of thing going on.
Look at this. I do not think about old ladies. Like that's where the whole thing is. I call my grandma as much as I can.
Yeah.
Anyways, as if that wasn't dark enough.
I know, that took a turn. But yeah, and then he does finally, put out an actual moral at the end. It's not the giving, it's not the getting, it's the loving. And that's it. That's the whole
And John's
thing.
not getting no loving, folks. You know that. That's John Arbuckle.
That's your flippin' Christmas story.
He's
right
getting nothing. He's hanging out with his cat tonight. Because what the heck else would he do?
there. Poor John Arbuckle.
I don't even know if it's poor John Arbuckle. I think everything he gets, he did to himself.
No, absolutely. He's Mr. Shooting himself in the foot.
So, all right, folks. This is going to be the conclusion of episode 6 of the Year-Round Tree All Year Christmas Cast.
Yes, if you were listening
Or
to
Christmas
this
All Year Cast. I don't remember which order I put those in.
in realish time, belated Happy New Year to you. Toast with my champagne.
And they're not listening to this anywhere near realish time. I look at the download numbers.
All right, fair enough.
At this point, nobody listens.
That's okay.
And I'm okay with that.
We'll get there.
Or we won't.
Or we
and we'll
won't.
just have fun talking about Christmas.
And I'll just enjoy the champagne. So there you go.
Peppermint schnapps, folks. Signing off.
Got laid these cookies up.